Welcome and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing Forgeries on the 4th for Counterfeit Kit Challenge and also using my scraps. And this is the page that I took inspiration from, and we're going to make some tags. So I already pulled some scraps out and I used my Hip Kit Club die that has all these tags in it. So I used the larger one and the medium one, I think. And so I cut out 2 large ones and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 maybe small ones. And these were the scraps that I chose. So just giving you an idea of what I've used up for scraps. So a little bit of that I'll keep, but most of it I'll go into the trash bin because there's not much left there to keep. And so the first thing I wanted to try, and it didn't work out very well, is I used this Pink Fresh Studio stencil. And I used the Gina K ink, and it did not go on very well for this. Probably my fault, but it is a pigment ink, not a dye ink, so it stays really wet to start with. And I did want it to be like really white, but you could see that I moved it a little bit, and yeah, so maybe doing a brush instead of the dauber would have helped with this too. You can see how like my lines aren't very clear there. I cleaned up. I'm putting it to the side and I'm gonna play with some other stuff and come back to that one. I'm not actually going to use that one. I'm going to turn it over, but I did have these rub-ons with this flower, and these rub-ons are from a really long time ago, and so I wanted to do something like the daisy with the flower in the bottom with the writing on the background. So that's why I chose out this piece of scrap paper, because I thought that would work really well. So I'm going to cut the 2 parts of it off, because on the tag that I'm forging, it had more than one, and I only have one. And so I'm going to use the pieces that I would have cut off anyway on the tag. And so this turns out really well. I think this is one of my favorites out of the tags I make today. And so I'm just rubbing them on a little bit with the foam if they're not coming off very easily, and then over to the hard surface. I find that doing a little bit of both, I get a better transfer of these really old rub-ons. These ones, like, I swear they're probably 15 years old at least. I should look on the packaging, because I saw the packaging and it would tell me, but it works. Then I used my anti-static tool and some embossing ink, and I'm going to use white embossing to put white dots on this. This is a Crafter's Workshop. I think it's called Tiny Dots. And so I'm going to heat emboss this. So I have this little recollections tray, which is awesome because I can just pour it all in there and it doesn't make a big mess, and I can get pretty good coverage. It doesn't go everywhere. I'm going to move the other stuff out of the way here in a second and use my heat gun so the magic can happen. And I like how that turns out. Super cute. Now I'm thinking the pink one on the tags has like a scalloped border. I do not have a true scalloped punch. I don't have a true scalloped anything. So, and it's too small to use like the circle punches that I do have. My circle punches are a little bit bigger. So, yep. This is what I'm looking at. I found this polka dot one, and I'm going to put it on this already distressed tag that has some writing on it, because I thought that was pretty cute and matched. I'm going to leave that scrap of that border out so I can do the tag hole in it. I'm going to try and dry this with my heat gun to see if it'll be anywhere, but I'm not. Nope. Look at these borders to see if there's anything I can use. I did want to keep them in the same color tone because the pink one on the tag sheet actually has the pink scallop, so, and I've got the brightness of that pink on the background. I just wanted something else to work. So in the meantime, I'm going to stamp on the back side of where those stripes are. And put a little bit of tape to make it stick in my platform, because I don't have the room for using the magnets. And I'm going to use the Gina K white again, but it's on a stamp, so it works a little bit better. So I don't know. I think if I heat embossed the stripes, it probably would have worked better, but it is what it is. So I am heat drying it in between just to set that ink to dry it, because it does sit on top. So if I use a little bit of heat to help it dry, then it's not gonna, like, I can actually stamp multiple times instead of it's not stamping because the pigment sits on top. So, and looking in my bin to see, I'm 99% sure right now that I don't have a scalloped border, but I do know that I have this one, this Essentials from Elizabeth Craft. That's a little bit, but it has the hole punches in it too, and it's not going to go up high enough. And I'm like, nope, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. Those, nope. So, yeah, it was worth a try. So I did pull out this one for frame, and then I'm going to look really quick at these rub-ons that I have. I think these are basic gray. And I was just thinking, is there something I could use instead? Not so much. I really have to use those ones up, but not today. So now I'm thinking, what else do I want to do? What do I want to try? So I have this whole Ziploc bag of paper scraps that are just cardstock. So I pull out this really bright pink one, and I have this border punch right beside me. And so I'm gonna, this is what I have that's as close to a scalloped edge as I can get. I am learning how to use my brand new rotary cutter, so don't mind me while I figure it out. So it cuts really well. It's the pressing guide is a little bit larger than what I'm used to, but it does cut well, so that's good. So then that one goes on. I'm going to save that little piece to do the circle reinforcement for the hole. And then this came from the Spellbinders Advent Calendar from not this year, but last year, so 2024. And so I'm going to cut the two pieces together to make a frame, because on one of those there was definitely a frame. And I didn't have any frames that would work, so more scraps are going to get used. Yay! So just pulling out some different colors. I'm going to pull out this green as well, because it kind of matches some of the other green tones that I've got going on. And so just thinking I could put a bottom piece on that from this as well. So I'm going to do a little bit of tape. I'm also going to do the tag hole, cover, circle bit. And so I'm going to do a bit of that just at the moment. So those ones. And then there we get the inside bit. We have another piece and tag hole. And then I'm thinking what color would go on that one. So I'm going to cut this navy, mostly because it's the darker bit, and I'm going to do the tag bit at the same time, mostly because on the tags that I'm forging, they have matching tags for the circle bits, whatever they're called, the reinforcer bit. So pink one done. Can do one out of the sticker border strip as well for this one. And then black I'm going to put this away for a minute. That's not all of the ones I need, but it's a start. So then this one with the writing on it is going to get the reinforcer and the frame bit, and that's pretty cute. And then this one is going to get the reinforcer, and then this bottom piece, I'm not going to put it straight on the edge. I thought that added a little bit of interest just being off the side there. Another reinforcer, then the black reinforcer, and then the sticky one. And then I don't have anything done on this one or this other tag yet, so I'm going to use the rest of this blue piece that I just cut, and I think that's pretty cute. And then I was thinking about how to use these pieces on the originals. There was a few that had some wordy bits on the bottom for paper, and that looks kind of like it was stitched. So I'm going to get some wordy bits on the bottom here. Just cutting it down a little bit more. I did want to keep, these do have a stitched edge, so I did want to keep the bottom of that stitched edge. This one doesn't matter because it's not going to be exactly the same, but on that other one I did want to maintain that edge. So, and then that green's not quite the same kind of green, so I'm not going to use it on that polka dot, but I am going to use some other stuff. But I'm going to do a few more take reinforcer holes or rings, reinforcers for the holes. I don't know why that's so hard to say. And that works pretty good. Another black one. These I kept in, even though I did take out quite a bit of the other die cutting because it's quick, and look at, I did it right on my platform. And then this one I thought was pretty cute, and then I had all of these rub-ons still out, so I decided to use one of these on the words, and I thought that would be interesting. So I thought about using it across the middle, but I'm going to use this corner piece across the bottom because it gives me a chance to layer other stuff if I want to on it when I go to use it. Hopefully I do use them this month, but I have them to play with, so hopefully. Getting lots of scraps used that I haven't looked at for quite a while because I did pull these out of my scrap drawer. And then I'm just cutting off the extra there, and then just seeing what I can do with the last bit of it. It's going to come on the other side just because I don't want to waste any of it. So that works. I'm thinking about what to do with this one. So we'll look at my scraps that I pulled out, and I do have a little bit more of this wordy stuff. So I'm going to use a piece of it. So I pull out some black ink. My StazOn pad is really dry, so I do need to re-ink it, but there was enough there to add just a little bit. This is going to go on. It's kind of like ledger paper. And it's a nod to some of the ledger paper that was used in the tags. And then I'm going to use this little piece of scallop that I have here, and I cut it so that I can do the reinforcer ring as well and have it in the black and white. And another one of those. I should just do a ton of those off screen. so that I have them ready, because they do take a bit. So these are the tags. So I'll just show you them here real quick. And then I decide I'm going to do 2 more things. I'm going to do some stitching on the 2 blue ones with the polka dots. And so I'll poke the holes using this stencil, and then I am going to, I'll stitch off screen because I never managed to do it on screen anyway. And then I'll show you what that looks like. And then I'm going to do a little bit of stamping, and then I'll be done here. So I did want something else on this one, and that's why I decided on the stamping. It gets one of the stamped images put onto it. So I am going to use some black embroidery floss and an embroidery needle, and I just pull out a bunch. I'm going to use all 6 threads instead of, usually I do 2 or 4. But I decided why not all 6 today. Makes it really thick and textured. So and I thought of wrapping this around, and I'm like, nope, I don't really like that. Nope. Nope, no. All right, those 2 are done. And now I want to do just a little bit of stamping of these mushrooms for 49 Market. And so in the Willow Grove, there is some embellishments with mushrooms because, yeah, it's 49 Market and Bicky Booten. So, and it's a garden thing. So, yeah, of course. So these were not part of that set. These came out last year, the year before sometime. But I really like these ones. So I'm going to, I did it the black in our archival ink, and then I'm going to do these ones in, this one's a distress ink, and I think this one is peacock feather, and then I think the other one is salvage patina. I think. And then that one's an oxide that I'm doing right now. And it comes out a bit greener. And then I'm going to put those through with the dye, which I don't make you watch. So I'll just line it up and through, and those are those 2. And then here are the close-ups, and you can see I put the green mushrooms in the frame already, and I really like how that turned out. There's those, the stitching, the rub-ons, and a little bit more you can see, and all of the tags. Thank you so much for watching today. I will have the Counterfeit Kit blog and Facebook group linked below. If you're new to me, I would love to have you subscribe. Please like and comment. I always get back to my comments. And thank you so much for watching today. Have yourself a wonderful day.